He's not acting this way just to fit in, coach. Sunglasses were worn by Michael Bublé during season 27 of The Voice rehearsals. Post-season and provided the accessories' straightforward but highly pertinent description comes from mega instructor Sheryl Crow. As they sat down, Bublé congratulated the least popular star for wearing sunglasses despite his allergy symptoms. The Canadian singer remained mum on whether he had red, watery eyes or any other adverse reactions, but he was fine by the time he played a couple of shows. Kelly Clarkson seemed to be living it up on The Voice and her own show for a few days in September 2020 while still sporting an eye patch. Clarkson, who is a coach on the show, had a terrifying incident after finishing her shift. "I'm extremely allergic to dust," she said. "Something got in there, cut my eye, and got infected." Clarkson elaborated that she had a whole day of filming The Voice soon after getting the patch. The episode featured a battle, and her wardrobe, all black, "I look like an assassin," had already been chosen and approved. Regardless of the lighting, the singer's role is to guide his artists to greater heights in their performances, offer insightful musical criticism, and, of course, assist them get the credit they deserve for their hard work on the Knockouts team. "Adam's voice is what I want to be when I grow up," observed Carlos Santiago, who knocked out Adam David after hearing him sing Unaware by Alan Stone wonderfully. Even vocalist Bubba joked, "You guys suck as an audience, let me tell you," and Bub was impressed, telling the audience, "Ladies and gentlemen, give it up for Adam." The in-house band and crew reportedly are instructed to make as little noise as possible so that the microphones can pick up the artists. On this particular Tuesday morning, the NBC studios were bustling with activity as if a beehive had just emerged from a thunderstorm. Voice coaches scurried down hallways, clutching clipboards in their hands. As they neared stage 6, the aroma of peppermint tea filled the air. The Voice was about to begin its playoff rehearsals, and all eyes, cameras, competitors, and producers were fixed on Michael Bublé, his sunglasses, specifically a pair of stylish jet black shades. The late Tom Ford, even in the depressing practice area, where sunshine hardly touched the floor and lighting tech shouted, "Kill the amber wash," the aviators rested on his face like they were crafted by angels with immaculate taste and eyewear. Viewers of the making of film would quickly begin to wonder if Bublé was trying to cover anything up, if he was just recovering from a hangover, if he was making a fashion statement, or if he was having a diva moment. Stranger, sweeter, and maybe even cinnamon-scented than any of us had anticipated was the truth. Chapter 1. A butter-like voice and its problems. Michael Bublé's role as a playoff coach on The Voice brought spiritual clarity to contestants and high ratings for the show. According to team legend contestant Marina Cruz, is that Michael Bublé or the lead singer of a Canadian rock opera? It was the first day of rehearsals when Bub, who was known for his silky voice, old-school crooner charisma, and dad joke-level charm, was supposed to bring vocal coaching expertise and a warm embrace to the stage. However, he appeared like a hybrid of James Bond and Johnny Depp in Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas. When asked why he wouldn't take off his shades during rehearsals, Bublé just said, "It's for your protection." Producers were surprised because usually mentors are encouraged to show a more personable side during these sessions. The citrus incident in Chapter 2. Just 3 days before practice, following a weekend of meditation with a yogi called Cactus Joe in the California desert, Michael Bublé had a lemongrass awakening. He then resolved to make a complete lifestyle change, giving up processed sugar, dancing gratitude at sunrise every day, and performing a herbal eye mask ritual that would unlock the radiant consciousness of sight. An unnamed cosmetic artist commented, "Bublé walked out of his dressing room like someone who had just stared into the Ark of the Covenant." The mask was supposed to revitalize the under-eye area, but instead it made his eyes glow. The all-natural organic chemical it contained was made from citrus peels, saffron pollen, and an unclear ingredient called moon-kissed silver bark. His eyes were really blazing, not in a metaphorical sense. Chapter 3. The glare heard round the studio. According to sources, Bub stopped the first rehearsal less than 5 minutes in by staring directly at a participant. What happened next? A 17-year-old indie folk musician named Quinn reportedly said, "I have no idea what occurred. I gazed into his eyes and realized I could sing like Aretha Franklin." Subsequently, a hi-hat broke a light fixture over stage 4. Choreographers began to harmonize on the spot, and one producer even began to float 2 inches above the floor. It was instructor Reba McEntire, who concealed her face beneath a rhinestone-studded clipboard, remembers the horrific musical awakening as being too much power for one set of cornies. On the spot, NBC unveiled a safety protocol. Unless he was in a controlled rehearsal bubble, Michael Bub had to wear sunglasses. The spectacles were more than simply a fashion accessory. They also served as a means of captivity. Chapter 4. The tale of the sunglasses. Stylists verified that the man's sunglasses were Tom Ford's, personalized with what Bublé called spectral filters, but he refused to reveal the name or purpose of the sunglasses, which added to the mystery. Legend has it that Frank Sinatra's melting records were used to create these, along with pieces of ancient piano keys. Some people said that a Canadian folk priest had blessed the lenses, while an intern thought they might have been made by a covert branch of the Canadian Mounties that dealt with strange sounds. Contestants started referring to the spectacles as the Bublé shields, and the coaches made fun of the idea of taking them. Regardless, the spectacles have become famous. Hi, Gwen. While on break, Stephanie supposedly tried them on and spent 6 minutes trying to pronounce her own name correctly. According to the vocal coach, Chapter 5, emotional contagion was more than just the fiery eyes. Rembrandt, Lisa Bublé's eyes acted like empathy lasers during his cephal trip, changing his emotional resonance. Rembrandt compared his stare like being enveloped in a sonnet when we were in harmony correction, and I burst into tears from an unresolved breakup. The habit, which later became known as the Bublé stare syndrome, started to affect crew morale. A group of security guards took up poetry, and a group of lighting technicians began taking in abandoned kittens. Carson, even though Deli acknowledged me, I feel deeply seen, and I no longer know who I am. She allegedly brought freshly baked banana bread for the entire crew. Division 6. Zion Rivera, a sold-out powerhouse from New Jersey, was trying to reach an emotional peak during the final playoff dress rehearsal. The band kept stalling, adding to the intense tension. Against his better judgment, Bub took off his spectacles. The studio fell silent as he stared at Zion. A soulful chord progression passed between them. Together with his forefathers, Zion sings as the wind carries each sound captured in the studio till the optics of the camera get blurry. After everything came to a halt, a microphone shorted out, a spotlight broke, and the show came to a close. Zion broke down in tears and mumbled, "Thank you for seeing me." Chapter 7 saw Bublé's sunglasses whisked right back onto his face. Nobody dared to dispute the shades when that man became a legend and a lens. Throughout the rest of playoff practice, Michael Bub was positioned behind the lenses. His mentorship meetings were still transformative, albeit less intense, and he offered this mysterious explanation in interviews. Sometimes when you open your eyes too wide, you see not only music but meaning. And sometimes people aren't ready to be seen as clearly, so you wear sunglasses, not to hide but to protect them. Final thoughts. During nighttime rehearsals, contestants started donning their own pairs of sunglasses, not to imitate his vivacious personality, but to remember the moment he helped them see themselves in preparation for the season finale. Meanwhile, producers of The Voice started working on a new reality spin-off, and Michael Bubble, donning a recording studio phone cape, hosted blind auditions, the literal version. For a fleeting citrus-fueled second, Michael Bublé's eyes became mirrors, and certain reflections are too honest to be seen in daylight. He donned sunglasses not to hide or seem cool, but because